They would go to Home Depot. They would steal a drill bit. It's like $90. They would give it to somebody else to trade in with their ID to get a gift card. So me and this guy, we go from Skid Row to MacArthur Park, and there's a Home Depot there. And I go in, I do my little thing, looking around, I take the drill bit. I walk out. I'm a firm believer that if you just play the part and act like you belong, most people are not going to question you. And so I walk out with the drill bit and I give it to the guy, and he has the ID. From the time the ID hit our head to the time money hit one of our hands, it was like 3 hours. To do what? Split $50? So I just spent 3 hours to make $25. I was like, never again. I started getting receipts. I would take receipts that I would find and just go in there and get the item. And I was like, oh, I don't even have to leave the store. I can sometimes leave the store, sometimes not leave the store. And I started developing these little methods. I would get books that I would find receipts in. I would flatten them out. I would put them in the middle of pages, and I would have receipts on receipts on receipts just sitting there flattened out, looking like they were newer than what they were. They weren't crimpled and crumpled up. And so, I mean, you look at Koreatown in LA, there's a Staples, there's a Walgreens, there's a Ralph's, there's an AutoZone, there's a Rite Aid. So I can find one item here, trade it at this other one, started learning what SKU numbers were, started learning like Ross and DD's are the same company. So 4011 is the beginning of all their SKU numbers. I started learning that some places SKU number on the receipt does not match the item. It's not always the item number. And so I would just, I might get some Robitussin from here, trade it into Rite Aid Deer. I don't want to rob people that are poor. So I would go to like Santa Monica. I would go to Venice Beach. I would go to Culver City. I would go to Bel Air. I would go to Beverly Hills. And these are the places that I would choose to try to break into stuff. If the door was unlocked, I would go in. And I quickly learned that you look like an idiot if you open up a door and you're just in there messing around. So I quickly learned that I just would get in, I would shut the door, I would sit down in the car, I would immediately put the car seat all the way back to where nobody could see me, and then I would slowly raise the car seat up and look around, and it's like, oh, I've got time now. Nobody knows I'm here. Another thing, people don't pay attention to car alarms. You would think they do.
Right.
Yeah, when a car alarm goes off, I just walk away for 30 seconds, and it goes off, and I get back into the car. So now I can take my time. I can check this. I can check that. I can open up the little middle console. I found $1,000 one time. I found $300 one time. I found one lady was working for Burberry, and so she was suing Burberry. So I had all of her legal forms. She lives in Hollywood. And I was very, very close to selling all of that because it had her social. The guy was going to give me $100 for it. But right before I was going to sell it to him, I was just like, I don't want to do it, bro. I didn't want to damage her whole life. You know what I mean? 16, I get shot. Me and this kid, we're going to fight. I'm waiting at my school bus. And I see this guy that I don't like walking down the way. And I'm like, I'm going to go say something to him. I'm not really mad at him. I'm mad at everything going on in my life. So I get to the bus stop and he's walking by and he's staring me down. And I'm like, yo, what's up with it? What's going on? And he comes up and we start arguing. And he's trying to get me to go around the corner, unbeknownst to me what's about to happen. And so we're arguing, we're about to fight. He pulls a gun out. So I took my book bag off and was like, I know you didn't just pull a gun out on me. And I was going to go still off on him. I was going to swing on him. And
did you think maybe like he's not going to, well, he won't do it?
I've thought about it so many times. I don't know if I thought the gun was fake. I don't know if self-preservation is the key to life. So as much as I may not be this hard thug type, I'm going to defend myself. Or maybe he's the B word and he's not going to do it, And so I was wrong. Next thing I heard was, pew, LAPD comes up. Something inside of me said, act with authority. I didn't give them a chance to even say anything to me. I said, can I help you? They said, yeah, actually you can. There's a person matching your description going around checking doors. Off the top of my head, I said, yeah, you probably did see that because I work for RTC, round the clock security, and I work for a group of older men that don't like domestic violence, and we have contracts with certain women to keep them safe. So I have to go making sure that these doors are locked and making sure there's no weirdos around. They don't know whether to buy it or not. I don't know if it's going to work. What's your name? And I was like, Mike Shishamish. They're like, Mike what? I literally looked at him and said, Mike, you know I don't know the name, so why do you keep asking? Bro, now they're coming at me. They're getting me off. They're taking my book bag off. They're about to put me in handcuffs. They're taking stuff out of my book bag. They find IDs. They probably found a social security card or two. They're like, what's all this? And I said, I told you I work for security. I had to take those. I had to confiscate those from weirdos that are around our women's buildings. Something inside of me is just
They're
like,
not buying this. They don't buy this, bro. Tell me that you don't get out of this.
I don't know what it was, but something inside of me was like, bro, you've sold it down the river now. Stay on the raft. You're already down, you know what, creek without a paddle. Just keep going down the river. You can't back off now. Bro, I'm telling them I confiscated this stuff. I got keys in my bag. They're putting me in handcuffs, and I'm like, man, I don't know what this is about. And they're like, sir, you lied to us about your identity. I looked at them and said, I don't even know if you're really LAPD. Sergeant shows up. He comes back to the car. He's like, so what's going on? I give him the same spiel, but I'm calling him boss. I'm like, listen, boss, I don't know what they got going on. I work for round-the-clock security. Yeah, I lied to them about my identity. I can't be telling people who I am. He goes back, talks to them. He comes back to me, and he says, listen, one of them's new. Let them do their job. They're just trying to do their job. I'm going to get you out of here in a couple minutes.
So I go in there. I wait 6 hours at the dealership. It's this big 2-story BMW dealership.
Dick.
I mean, I put my suit on. The sales manager just won't talk to me. I mean, I think it was like a test, if anything.
Right.
So then he brings me into his office. You know, I give him the hard sell. Like, I've always kind of been all right at persuasion. And I'm like, listen, I don't have any experience, but listen, I'll be the best, I promise. Give me 6 months, I'll work harder, I'll work for free, I'll come here for 2 weeks and you don't have to pay me anything, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you know what, kid? I'm going to take a chance on you. And he reaches out and he shakes my hand. So I got a name badge. I work at BMW now. I go out and buy suits I can't afford. I quit my nightclub job. On my very first day there, the general manager of the place looks at me and he goes, who are you? And I go, I'm Greg Snavely, sir. And where'd you come from? And I'm like, oh, well, I kind of give him a roundabout answer of, well, I live over here. And he goes, no, what dealership did you come from? And I said, well, this is my first car sales job. And he goes, well, I hire salespeople. I don't train them. It's been nice knowing you, Greg. I mean, I was fired within 20 minutes of my first day. 20 miles from where I lived, there was a doctor who was prescribing more cotton than the entire state of California combined. He made about $100,000 a week, cash only. My friends basically said, why pay for this stuff? Everybody I knew was going in there. You get the MRI, and I don't know if he even cared about the MRI, but they taught you how to scrunch up in the MRI and wait for 20 minutes in an uncomfortable position. And the doctor had like a saying. He'd go, I don't even know how you've been getting through the day lately. I mean, once you give me that, I was prescribed 8 a day as a healthy 24, 25-year-old. That is like when the gasoline got on the fire. The business starts to, when you're running a business as a full-fledged addict, and not only that, but now I can get pulled over with this stuff.
Right.
It's my medication.
Right.
It's and I believe that. I convinced myself of the fact that I needed this medicine.
I robbed all 4 of my drug dealers within 2 days of each other. I finessed them. I would say, Susie just got her script and she's looking to get rid of them. And at the time they're selling for $30 a piece. I'm just like, she's willing to sell 30 of them for $10 a piece or 60 of them for $20 a piece. And I had this building, same building, where it had a front door entrance and a rear door down the end of the hall that went out the back. And what I would do to the people, I'd say, drive me there. I don't want to take your money. I don't want you to take your money and you think, so you just drive me there.
Right.
I was like, she's like crazy about meeting new people. She's paranoid. I was like, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave my phone in your cup holder. All you gotta do is run up there and run right back down. I'll be right back down. I said 2 phones, a burner,
right,
and my good phone. So I put the